It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA. Oh, yes, it is time for Mornings at 8, and this is Wednesday, halfway through the week. So we're halfway there, and at this point you can kind of see the weekend kind of peeking up over the horizon. It'll be here soon enough. So here we are, halfway through the week. Well, man, there is so much to talk about this morning. And what a beautiful morning it is. That's something to talk about right there. It is absolutely gorgeous out there. I mean, this is really, really nice. Maybe a little bit of rain this afternoon, but that's okay. It's still going to be a gorgeous day. Absolutely beautiful. And you know what I noticed the last week or so is when school is out, there's no traffic. Have you ever noticed that? When there's no school, there's no traffic. And then it makes you wonder, I wonder how much business activity school generates. Because the roads are practically empty now. It's kind of interesting. As soon as school's out, there's all the traffic. Well, yesterday, of course, was the Republican primary for the state Senate. The seat left vacant when Kathy Young resigned earlier this year. And so I was kind of surprised when Brian gave their election results yesterday. George Borrello, the Chautauqua County executive, got almost a 2-1 margin over Kirk Crandall. And I was kind of surprised, I think, in a way, because judging by the number of signs, at least in Almond and Alfred, I mean, there were Kirk Crandall signs all over the place. So I don't know. If he depended on Alfred and Almond, he would have won, but I guess not. So that's the way that goes. That was So there we go. So now Mr. Borrello will take on Austin Morgan, a 22-year-old Cornell student. And we'll see how that... Now, politics is kind of interesting. You figure, well, George Borrello has a lot of experience, and Austin Morgan is 22 years old, and he's a college student, but politics is interesting. You never know how it's going to go. So it should be a very interesting race there. Now, yes, this is posted on the WLEA news site, local Snapchat posting about Hornell Intermediate School area. And I read that this morning, and I said, what? In the first place, I'm not on any social media, so I'm not quite sure how Snapchat works. But according to the story, there's a post circulating on Snapchat locally saying that people should stay away from the Hornell Intermediate School because of robberies there. And apparently, Brian, it says that you spoke with the Hornell PD, who say that as of now, no victims have stepped forward, claiming to have been robbed near the Hornell Intermediate School. Is that right? So where did this come from?
It was all over local social media, and I don't know who originally posted it.
Now, robbery is different from burglary.
Right.
Burglary is one thing. Robbery is entirely different. So stay away from the Hornell Intermediate School area, I guess, because of robberies there. But apparently nobody has come forth.
I talked to Hornell police about it as soon as I saw the social media posting, and it was shown. One of our salesmen showed it to me, and I called Hornell police, and they said, "Yeah, we're aware of that posting, but we've had no complaints about robberies in that area."
So then you wonder how this stuff starts. Who knows? Social media is a strange thing. That's all I know about social media. It's a pretty strange thing. Well, another big story. This is a big story. Brian had it on the news this morning. A bridge in Bath to be named after Trooper Nick Clark. And as we all know, Trooper Nick Clark, a Kansas City native, was gunned down in the line of duty last July. It was only a year ago. He was shot and killed in a confrontation in the town of Irwin. I believe it was a domestic dispute. I think, it was. He was 29 years old and had been a New York State trooper for 3 years. And in responding to this dispute, I believe he was hit with one shotgun blast. And you wonder, I mean, how you have to give these law enforcement people a lot of credit. I mean, it's part of your job, and you know. But every morning you wake up and you go to work, people go to work, right? You go to work and then you go home. Yeah, well, okay, it was a typical day. But if you're in law enforcement, I mean, there's no typical day. And anytime you go to work in the morning, there's a chance that you will not come home at night. And yet there are plenty of people, thank God, that take that job. And they say, yeah, I'll do it. And you cannot give them enough credit. You just can't. It's impossible. But State Senator Tom O'Mara and Assemblyman Phil Palmisano sponsored a bill to name the bridge over I-86, where it crosses State Route 415 in Bath. It's about half a mile north of the barracks, the state trooper barracks in Bath, where Clark was stationed at the time of his death. And so they have sponsored that bill, and I assume that the governor will sign it. How could he not sign it? He's got to sign it. And in a joint statement, O'Mara and Palmisano said the action will serve as a fitting tribute recalling the life, service, and ultimate sacrifice of one of our local heroes. And there is a good definition of a hero. You go into a situation knowing that you might lose your life. And you do your job, you do your duty anyway. And there is a hero. No question about him. And so they want to name it the Trooper Nicholas F. Clark Memorial Bridge, which they say will forever honor Nick's memory and forever stand as a reminder of his service. Now, Trooper Clark graduated the State Police Academy in 2015, and he was stationed in Ithaca and Auburn before transferring to the Bath Barracks. Now, Assemblyman Phil Palmisano had his take on what a hero is.
First, I think it's a small gesture for us to say thank you to the family members for the service and sacrifice of their loved one. I also think it's a way for us to also let the family know that that service and sacrifice of their loved one will always be remembered and never be forgotten. And the other reason why I think it's important, Brian, is especially when I think of our young people, young boys and girls who are growing up, always looking for heroes to look up to. Well, Trooper Nicholas Clark was a hero, and it's incumbent upon us to share the story of Trooper Clark with our kids and our families around the area so they know what a hero is, what a hero does. And Trooper Nicholas Clark was certainly a hero, and I think that's why this dedication and this bridge naming is just a small gesture for us, again, to say to the family of Trooper Clark that, again, his service and sacrifice will always be remembered.
I could not agree more. Yeah, and if you recall, that ceremony in Alfred last July was an amazing event. There were troopers, there were law enforcement people from all over. I mean, it was just an absolutely amazing event. And I'm glad that they sponsored that bill. And as I said, I'm pretty sure the governor will sign it. I don't see how he could not. And speaking of people who risk their lives in the service of others, you've heard on the news, I'm sure, this morning, Medal of Honor recipient says greatest award is being alive. President Trump yesterday awarded the Medal of Honor, the nation's highest military decoration, to Army Staff Sergeant David Bellavia. He's from the Buffalo area. I believe he's from Lyndonville. And he put his life on the line in Fallujah to save his squad in the bloodiest battle of the Iraq War in 2004. Bellavia and his 10-man squad were going house to house searching for terrorists. And it was 15 years ago, on his 29th, he was 29 years old. And he said, we walked into a house, and on the second floor inside the home, bullets started flying. Now, there was, I don't know if it's still up there right now, but there was a story on the CBS News site. And there was a guy there, what's his name? Journalist Michael Ware. And he filmed the whole thing. And it's extremely violent. I mean, this video shows the violence of what goes on in war, especially when you're fighting in dark houses where no one really knows exactly what's going on. You have a situational awareness, but let's face it, you're in the dark. And you're fighting people who want to kill you. And it really shows the violence of what that house of fighting is about. And anyway, it's pretty. I hope it's still up there so you can take a look at it. It's an amazing video. Anyway, Bolivia said, I ran out. Well, first of all, he said that he thought he felt he had failed his men and failed the infantryman's code of battle. He said, I ran out because I was out of plans and I was scared to death. He said, we fight until you don't fight anymore and we take you out, but we don't break contact. And in the documentary by this Michael Ware described what happened next. And now this is Ware. He said, someone had to go back in there. Someone had to kill them, Ware said, and it was Staff Sergeant Bellavia. Followed by Ware and one other soldier, Bellavia went back into the pitch-black house. He killed 3 of the enemies and wounded a 4th. He just rolled and he tore up the stairs, Bellavia said. This guy's hurt, and I like my chances with the guy that's hit repeatedly, and he's bleeding. I could see the blood. He's mine. The official army account says Bellavia silenced the wounded fighter. Now, how he silenced the wounded fighter is he took out his knife and he stabbed him in the neck. That's how he silenced him. That'll silence you. And he says, I hit him with my helmet. I hit him with everything I could. All I could think of is that if I could just hit this guy enough times with my helmet, and that's what he said. And the rest of what happened is as savage as combat gets, and Bellavia put it all in his book. He's written a book on that. And on Tuesday, he became the first living soldier to receive the Medal of Honor for his actions in Iraq. And he says, my award has always been that I'm alive and I'm home, and that's the greatest thing in the world to have. But even more important than that, every man in his squad came home alive with him. Now, Bellavia has a radio show on WBEN in Buffalo, and he seems to be a really quiet, unassuming guy. And you'd think some quiet, you never know, a really quiet, unassuming, nice, rational, level-headed guy. And I guess when the chips are down, some people will come through. You know what I mean? I mean, they risk their lives in the service of others. And that's pretty important. Okay, insurance. That's right, insurance time. We're talking about insurance. Everybody needs insurance. Everybody needs insurance. Whether you have home insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, renter's insurance, just all kinds of insurance. Everybody needs insurance. Because let's say, hey, I wish I had insurance, but now I didn't, and now I'm really in trouble, right? See? So you have to plan ahead. And who better to help you with your insurance needs than the Ryan agencies, with offices in Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville, your local independent insurance agency. And another thing, too, the Ryan agencies is a Dave Ramsey-endorsed local provider for insurance. With the heart of a teacher, they utilize Ramsey financial principles to address your insurance needs. And another thing, too, they're all local. They live right here. The Ryan Agency employs 15 of your friends and neighbors. They live, shop, and support our area. When you buy insurance for the Ryan Agency, you support local families. And they're really nice people, as a matter of fact. I've been there a number of times. They're really, really nice people at the Ryan Agency. You cannot go wrong with the Ryan Agency.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
News from the NBA, where there's a report the Rockets are trying to push the 76ers into a sign-and-trade deal that would involve All-Star Jimmy Butler going from Philadelphia to Houston. The Rockets need a sign-and-trade because they don't have the salary cap space to currently add Butler. In baseball games of note, it was the Yankees beating the Blue Jays 4-3. New York hit 4 solo home runs in their latest win, and with that, they set a new Major League record with 28 consecutive games hitting at least 1 home run or more. Dodgers down the Diamondbacks 3-2. Dodgers now lead the Major Leagues with 55 wins on the season. It was the Twins knocking off the Rays 9-4. Astros take care of the Pirates 5-1. Houston getting its 50th win of the season. Battle of division leaders in Chicago with the Braves beating the Cubs 3-2. Meanwhile, the Brewers fall to the Mariners 8-3, so Chicago still has a one-game lead on Milwaukee atop the division. College World Series, Vanderbilt shut out Michigan 4-0 behind star pitcher Kumar Rocker. 6 1/3 innings of shutout baseball. He struck out 11 in the win. That forces a winner-take-all Game 3 Wednesday in Omaha.
New to golf or seasoned veteran, you'll enjoy the casual, relaxed atmosphere of Vanderview Golf Course. 2 miles from downtown Alfred on Waterwells Road, Vanderview is a 9-hole executive-length golf course with a driving range on one side of the road and the course on the other. Family-friendly and fun recreation for everyone. Greens fees are one price for unlimited play, $9.50. High school students, only $5. Children 12 and under with an adult, no charge. You can play up to 18 holes or 9 holes with a cart and get the second 9 holes at no additional charge. Ladies and senior golfers who don't hit the long ball, Vanderview's got the executive length that's just right for your game. And new this year, a season pass for only $100. That's a lot of golfing fun for a very little bit of money. Vanderview Golf Course, 2 miles from downtown Alfred on Waterwells Road. Vanderview Golf Course.
From the Fox Business Network, global stocks are weaker after comments from Fed Chairman Jerome Powell lowered expectations that policymakers will lower interest rates anytime soon. Powell said rates will be eased only if there is a sustained downward trend in the U.S. economy. Wall Street investors had expectations the Fed would start lowering rates next month. Apple has purchased self-driving technology company Drive AI. The San Francisco Chronicle says Apple has hired hundreds of hardware and software engineers, but it will lay off 90. No more episodes of The Office on Netflix, effective January 2021. Comcast's NBC Universal has decided to take back the popular reruns for its own new streaming service. The Dow was down 179 yesterday. The Nasdaq dropped 120. The S&P lost 27. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Baseball season is in full swing.
Right here, popcorn. Get your popcorn.
It's a good thing Matt secured his denture with Super Poligrip. Now he can enjoy the snacks as much as the game.
Poligrip. Hey, how are you? So great to see you.
It's that time of year when the family meets up.
Hi, come on. Get together, guys. Family photo.
It's a good thing Jack cleans his denture with Polident so he can enjoy the whole day with confidence.
Polident.
Today at Simmons Rockwell Nissan in Horseheads and Hornell, drive away in a new Nissan Rogue lease for only $279 a month. A new 2019 all-wheel drive Nissan Rogue S model with rear cross traffic alert, blind spot warning, and touchscreen display. Lease with no money down for $279 a month for 36 months. Only tax and DMV fees are due at signing. Shop Simmons-Rockwell.com.
And we are back. Let me see. You know, in New York, there were a number of lawmakers who are talking about giving prisoners raises. Okay. I don't know exactly what the reasoning is, but anyway, they want to give prisoners raises. And that's at one end of the spectrum. And then at the other end of the spectrum, this is from, this is a Newsweek. Indiana jail to charge guilty inmates up to $30 a day while incarcerated. How's that for a plan? Instead of giving them raises, they want to charge them. Okay, let me see here. How is inmates behind bars at an Indiana jail will soon find themselves charged for being there. The Clinton County Jail, this is in Indiana, the Clinton County Jail plans to charge those convicted of a crime up to $30 a day through the length of their incarceration in an effort to reduce the amount of money contributed by taxpayers. Wow. How do you like that? Huh, that's novel. Anyway, let me see. According to WTTV-TV, Clark County Sheriff Rich Kelly, I thought they were talking about Clinton County. Well, they are. Okay, Clark County Sheriff Rich Kelly pitched the idea to county lawmakers who voted to make the plan an ordinance. Under the ordinance, individuals found guilty of felonies and misdemeanors will be charged up to $30 a day for the duration of their jail sentence. Now, Kelly told the TV station he is legally allowed to charge prisoners and that he thinks doing so will be a deterrent. If it deterred one person from making a bad choice, then it's worth it to me, Kelly told the TV station. And Clinton County Commissioner Joshua, what's his name? UITTS. Utes? Anyway, he said that Indiana state law does allow for inmates to be charged. According to Indiana code, he says this is an option we have to use to help recoup costs that we have not been doing in the past. So yeah, it was prescribed in state statute. How do you like that? Kelly estimates that Clark County taxpayers pay $4 million per year to help maintain the jail. And most of the money goes toward food and general maintenance. By charging inmates, Kelly says he wants to place the burden of incarceration upon the prisoners and give relief to those who pay taxes in the county. Wow, I think that's a pretty good idea. Maybe, let me see, maybe we can tell the lawmakers in Albany about this. Who knows, it might even start a trend. Although, wait a minute, this is New York. It probably won't. Okay, what else have we here? I got so much this morning. Oh, yeah, I don't have a lot of time here. Maybe I'll wait until tomorrow for these. Okay, I have a whole bunch more here, but I seem to have run out of time. So, Indiana jail to charge guilty inmates up to $30 a day while incarcerated. Huh? So instead of giving them raises, they want to charge them. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, that's it for this morning show, and I'll see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.